My my mic was off that whole time. It's fine. I wasn't saying anything important anyway. Welcome to a return back to game dev. Going to be jumping back into Joy, going over some of the things that I did earlier today before I got the stream seemingly working. So let's just jump right into it. So, um, basically what I did today earlier was jumping, and I'll make a whole video on that for YouTube. Hopefully sometime, I guess sometime this week. I'll have to put a video editor on my laptop. Now that I think about it, let's see how far away am I from. There we go. So, uh, the jumping already worked. I just turned it off when I was converting the game from a side scroller to a third person endless runner. So if we open up the code, no wonder I can't ever find the chat. So it always disappears. Put it right here. And do a YouTube check. Uh-oh. It's not showing me YouTube. Uh, uh, well, that worked, but not in this chat. That's not great. Uh, Chat settings. Ew. I don't think I can use this chat thing. Something to figure out later, I guess. Let's see. I guess I'll do that. And just have both up. Not a great solution, but there it is. Okay, enough mumbling about. I was talking about jumping. So I have all this code in for jumping, where it was looking for me to. I assume because I did this a long time ago. I assume this was constantly always looking for me to press a button. And if I did, it would initiate the jump function. I don't need this anymore. What I did earlier, in between my last attempted stream and this stream, was I added the, I guess, a subscription. Added the jump subscription and the unsubscription to the enable and disable. Then I added the well, I think this was always here. I think I always had the uh, this variable finding the action in the action map, and I had input action functions capturing this subscription to the actual action. This is more complex than it used to be, but basically, I have a thing called move and a thing called jump inside the new input action map or uh, list of available actions that my game has. This one in particular for when the gameplay is happening. I have one for move, I got one for jump, and the idea is that if in the future, if I need to, I can add controllers to each of these actions, and the code wouldn't change, but the inputs would. So it's set up so that if I ever want to change something input wise, like add a controller, add anything, I can do that later and then have the code work it now. I had this for move, but now I need it for the jump. So instead of what I was doing, which was searching for it, me to click it all the time, I changed it so that if it happens, uh, don't see it. It should be around here somewhere. If it happens, um, it's going to give me the value of whatever button was pressed. On jump is one button, so it only has one value. Either it was pressed or it wasn't pressed. So I don't need this no more. I never needed this. I don't know why I typed it out. So basically, if the context is performed, basically if the context is was pressed, typically I say press not press. For buttons, it's typically um, was pressed or released or held. For physical buttons, press, release, held. Held as being another form of pressed, just longer. Um, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just talking. I'm so tired. Basically, if this was performed, with meaning it was pressed or released, it's going to give me that context. And if this is pressed and the player's health isn't zero, which means the gameplay is still going, if it's also touching the ground, then it's going to add a force to the rigid body. This is the part of the code that I had to change. Originally, this was um, adding a different force because my Winston was moving. But in the current version of the game, Winston doesn't move. The rest of the world moves around Winston. So I just needed to go up as opposed to before where I needed to go up and forward based on how fast you were going. I don't know. It's been a long time since I made that version of the game. But now this is working. It's using the jump force variable that I set up before. And an impulse just means that it's just like a little flash of code happening to it. And when it does this, it's going to change the animations so that the animation is switched to jump, and that this bool isn't an animation. It is just verification that it is in fact not touching the ground, so that other animations will trigger. Speaking of, I have another thing constantly being checked. So I had to move this to fix update because update was calling it too many times. Um, I have this function that's just always doing this. I guess I've never done this before. This is the first time I've done a bool function. This is basically just constantly checking if my ground collision is touching anything with a ground label. If this is ever false, it's gonna check the height that it's constantly getting information from. I think I had to change that to the rigid body instead of the transform. I had to change the last height to rigid body as well. And it's just all constantly checking when it where the height was last and if it's lower or higher than that. If it's ever lower than that, which is the fall threshold, it's going to trigger different animations. If it's ever higher, it's going to cut off any of those triggers that cause those animations. And I know it sounds complicated because it is. That's what all these arrows are. All these arrows are the different is not bools triggering and changing which animations do. So essentially, what that has allowed me to do is to be able to jump, have an animation while he's falling, change the animation, and then when he lands, go back to the running animation. So here's the run, and then we're gonna jump, and he's gonna fall, and he's gonna change the animation. It's a little easier to see if he's falling for a longer time because the animation was meant for both this normal jump and for if you were to fall off the platform, which I guess you don't necessarily need to do anymore. If we jump, and he lands. So again, jump, land. And then do all that while trying to make sure he can jump in time and land in time. Well, that might be bad. Okay, it looks like he's somehow still hit the trigger. Alright, if I stop this, change this to -15, change my jump back to 8, if it's not already, jump force 8. So it should look like this. And I missed the jump, so I'll just scoot out the way. So sometimes there's a bit of a delay. And I gotta change these platforms. Alright, so I lost. Okay, let me try that again. Let's get out the way. I cannot make that jump for some reason. Alright. Alright, so I made a jump that time, but Because that wall's right there. It's gonna be a problem. So the question is, do I need a visual cue to tell people when they should consider jumping? Or should they just figure it out? I don't know. Oh, I lost again. Another thing, I might have to do a thing where I hide uh, the mesh for anything in a certain range of the camera. Can I put that in the material so it just does it for everything? Hmm, that's something to look into. But tonight, now that I've finally had a stream steady enough to explain what I was doing, tonight is all about mixing up platforms. So let's aim for three and go from there. So first, let's check out what's going on with the platforms and what's summoning them. I know that Winston has a script on him that triggers a new road to appear. And that is called this section trigger. So I guess what I'm going to need to do is randomize an array number and then instantiate that game object in this. So what I'm gonna have to do is probably I'm going to copy this. I'm gonna serialize field this. I'm going to or maybe I don't have to do that. That might be too many steps. Let me see if I can do this. If I do game object and then array, I believe is that. Equals new game object. And we actually are going to just do 3 for right now. I think that's right. Double check. I'll be using good old Google for double checking, but I'll also be using the GitHub AI chat that I have right over here. For right now, this should be a quick thing to look up. Okay, I don't need to do that. Alright, so I've seen this done before like this, so I'm gonna keep this like this. Um, that's very confusing. See, that's what I thought. Okay, that's what I thought. Um, but to future proof this, let's go ahead and do that. We're gonna do um, let's make this serialized. Why not? Serialized field. This is going to be a integer, and it's going to be called um uh plat platform length, and then this is going to be called platform length. I normally like to name things myself, but if it's going to auto name it, then whatever. Um, I'm going to save this. I think I just deleted something. Okay, so platform length, row section, blah blah blah. So now road section is going to be um, we'll call this next platform. Let's stick with section. Well, this next section, and then integer next section, random range 0 road. It's like it new. And I'll show you the code, even though it kind of wrote half of it for me. All right, so let's stick with 3. This might be a short stream. I might only have long streams when it comes to art in the future because the code stuff, since I'm converting it from other stuff, is pretty much done. Oh, spoke too fast. Got an error. Oh, this is lowercase. Didn't like that. And then what's this error? Platform length. Oh, I didn't like this. Okay. Alright. I didn't like me doing that here. So I have to do a void start and then road section. And then this goes away. And I believe I wouldn't have had to do this if I didn't use a variable in the number section. I believe. Also, I should note that I can make 10 games and still think I don't know anything about anything. Is there more of this? Okay, I don't have to put anything. So this should work. Let me not save this. What? Something popped up weren't meant to. Okay, okay. Alright, no errors. Now I need to make sections. So if I check Winston, he's now going to have platform length. Whoa. What? Platform length. Road section. What? Why's the road section 3? Oh, because it doesn't care. Because it's that void start. Can't do that. I don't need this. I did this so that I can change this whenever I want, but there's no point in doing that. Alright, so now, yeah, it's just road sections. So I need to update Winston with all the changes I've done to him. Oh, ew. Let's do apply. I guess it's saying it can't apply that because it's a scene-based thing, which is good because that would have screwed up everything. If I do 5, gives me 5. Fantastic. We're gonna stick with 3. And now we're going to need to go into our prefabs and level selection, section 1, and I don't know why that's glowing. It doesn't have a shine on it. Why is it so bright? Alright, another thing I'm gonna have to do is turn this off because it's gonna be annoying. So this is going to be in the game manager. I'm gonna zero out all of the controls. Press play for it to update it. And then I can go back into section 1 and start messing with stuff. Alright, so each section needs some obstacles, and it's going to need a trigger for the next section. And one thing I need to do is make a prefab for the jump obstacles. So I can reuse those. Okay, so now that I have this, I'm going to, I'll keep this as is, but this appears right behind this, which makes me think the distance is wrong. So I'll move this up. And I'll move this up. And this up. And this will be my first section. Um, I'll have to rename this to level 1 sections, or level tests. So I'll make separate folders. Alright, so now floor, section trigger. I'll leave this be. Let's just duplicate this. How out of frame am I? I weren't paying attention. Don't see it. So we're just gonna Control D, hope for the best. Rename this to section 2. Alright, so in section 2, we're going to move this here, this here, and just as a test, we'll do something like this. And then we have to make sure everything is on lane. So that's kind of where that needs to be. That's kind of where that needs to be. It ain't perfect. If it was perfect, this would be -6. And this would be 2. And that's already 2. That's already -2. It's -2. This should be -2. I'll let this be. I'll let this be section 2. Return. Section 3. And this will be 6. Alright, so this is the C. Let's make this 100. And I'll come up with a better rhyme or reason after this gets finished. Scale for Y is 8. So it should be like 4.3. Okay. I might be a little off. Hopefully it won't be too bad. Section trigger is still there. Alright, so next thing is just going to be about checking the distance that it's spawning, because I don't think it's right anymore. Go ahead and save this. Good Lord. Streaming 10 seconds at a time. First time in a while, it's gone an hour. Okay, so let's go back to the scene. Alright, so Winston shouldn't be Winston, but it is. We're gonna add these sections. Rename that. Okay, auto renamed itself in here. And we're gonna have to zoom out. So section 1, which I've been using as like a test default thing. This is the center. I don't know what 0 is. So 0 is all the way over here. So that's 0. And if I use Winston and the camera and move them up, so roughly the middle is 0. Section 2. Section 2 is here. It's 119. 0. What's the distance spawning? I don't think that's right. Let's see what happens. I forgot to move. Alright. Yeah, it's way too close. Way, way, way too close. I have to turn on infinite lives. Alright, let's see where it should be. Alright, so section 1 are spawned here. And then section 2 oh, is this the wrong length? No, that's right. So where is this at? This is 59, a difference of 59. So let's put this at 60 and see what happens. Alright, pause. Second one. Still too far. Should be here. 84. Alright, just to check. What's the length of this? Doesn't say. Alright, so those don't say. Let's try to add an 84 to it, see what happens. I was gonna put this at 124. Oops. Too late. And I lost. I'm gonna have to reset. I'm gonna have to just give myself extra lives until I stop being bad. Of course, I didn't make lives accessible. Oh, it was Shields. Now I'm changing the name from Shields to Stamina because Shields doesn't make sense in the context of the game story. So, even though it says public float player health, I don't see no player health on here. I don't think player health is visible. Alright. I don't think player health is visible. So I'm going to do public float. Shouldn't be a float, should be an integer. Why is this a float? Level floats players stamina. This shouldn't be a float, this should be an integer. But don't take half points off. And then at the start, the player health will be equal to the player stamina. Alright. Player stamina. Let's make it 10. There's definitely a correct math way of doing this, but I don't know what it is. Yeah, I've already doubled up. Oh, this number changed back. Alright. I'll have to remember to stream early. Okay, this distance is working. This must be platform 3. Yep, that was 3. This seems to be working. And apparently I need to knock back to go further back. So if I do knock back and then I try to jump, it's too late. So let's go ahead and increase that. Knockback time. Knockback speed to 20. See, Okay, I think that might just be my fault for not pressing it fast enough. Okay, still knock back on that one. Good to know. Knock back. Still nothing. Okay, that's a little off. Are all of them a little off? Looks like it. Might just supposed to be 120. Let's see. Let's see. Winston 120. See if we still get a gap. I don't see a gap. Okay. No, I don't see a gap. Must have been 120. I'm not getting the jump right. Outward. Maybe I need to. I don't know. I don't know quite how to solve that. At least anti double jump isn't working. It's not. Wow, ran out of 10 lives that fast. Okay. Well, we got our section stuff working. Um, crap. Okay. I still need. I wanted to do something. What, sliding doors. I don't think that is a good idea. We got leap for joy. If we do sing for joy, that won't really work. Do shout for joy. Um, I still want to try to do shout because that was pretty quick set up. Mhm. Then after that, it's gonna be mostly art and level setup and sound and lighting. So not too bad. Let's see what this looks like with the small world effect turned on, and then that will be the end of the stream. I actually got a lot of stuff done, so it should turn on when we press play, and it should be going to the left. Okay, this isn't too bad, or is it? Is it actually very bad? Should I curve it up? That'll be weird. So curve down. I think this is cool. But beans. I have to do a different animation for. Nah, that's too much. This ain't supposed to be all that. Maybe I will put something on the ground to let you have a better feel for where things are. Because jump is much harder. in the world view. Well, I guess you get used to it. I don't want to handhold too much. This is a pretty straightforward game. Oh, that's the other thing I need to do. I need to add mobile controls to it. That was the other big thing. Because this needs to work based on swipes. And I'm hoping that's going to be input action. If not, I don't know. I don't know what I'll do. Okay. I mean, that's it. That's all there really is. We got it done pretty straightforward. Only took less than an hour to do to set up. Um, yep. Next time we'll be doing more obstacle effects, and then I will probably from then on I'll probably start streaming mostly art for this. Art being level setup and um texturing and reanimating Winston. I don't think he needs to be remodeled because I needed him to stay pretty low poly. But we'll see. All right. If you're watching this VOD, thank you for stopping by and taking a look at my game Joy. You can follow uh, you can follow the Instagram page for more updates on Joy. If only I knew what the Instagram handle was. Shamelessly looking at the Instagram because I don't remember my own games page. Where is it? Reshares? Oh. Joy Game underscore Doombotics. That is the name of the game. Um, yeah. So I'll be updating this with um the stuff from today's stream and the stuff I did off stream. Hopefully sometime this week. So feel free to follow and subscribe, and I'll try to be better with updating that. All right. With that said, uh, guess yeah. Have a good night, and I'll catch y'all next time. Probably sometime next week. Oh, good night.